Hi, welcome back to the Senior Network. I'm joined with my good friend Jim Keith from Keith's Funeral Home and Services. And welcome, it's good to see you. I've been gone a couple months, so it's good to see you. You got to get me caught up on what's going on. It's a new year. I know people are starting doing their estate planning now, and probably future funeral services should be, if it's not part of their checklist, it should be, right?
Well, you see that all the time this time of year. You see everybody making their New Year's resolutions and thinking, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do.
I got it right here, I'm going to check it off.
Oh, I've been busy with all that this year so far.
Really?
Yeah.
And what do you advise?
Just give me a call and come in and get some information. You don't have to pay for it in advance. All you have to do is write it down, or best yet, have a conversation with your family so they know what you want. You know, the worst thing is whenever somebody comes in, their mother or dad's died, and the family comes in, there's 4 or 5 kids, and I say, well, what are we going to do? Oh, I don't know, we're going to cremate? No, mom wants to be buried, back and forth. And you know, you got to have that conversation with them. It doesn't have to be long, it doesn't have to be in detail, just say, this is what I want. And then you call me, I'll get you some information. I have a really nice book that I can give you that helps, and that's what's been happening.
Oh, I can imagine. I spent some time with my folks, and we had this conversation, and my mother made it completely clear of her wishes.
Yeah.
And my dad is like, I'll do what she wants me to do, kind of thing. But yeah, you're right. It's good to have those things, those conversations ahead of time.
Yeah, you have to have it, and it gives you some time to get the information. The thing that most of the time, whenever I get vital statistic information, if there's anything that messes them up, it's the mother's maiden name, especially if someone's on their second marriage.
All right, I'm sorry. Okay, start over again.
So when someone dies, I need information for the death certificate. And one of the things is their mother's name and maiden name. So that makes, that would be like, what is grandma's maiden name? And if you get someone that's maybe on their second marriage, and maybe that second guy or woman doesn't know.
Have any idea.
So then you have to figure it out. You have to call the kids if they're not there, and call brother Leroy or whoever and find out. But there's just some information that we need, and it's always easier if you do it in advance.
What other big challenge? I mean, I never even thought about what other big challenges are there?
Well, just getting everybody on the right path. That's all. I mean, you come in. I've been doing a lot of work with a couple of really good estate attorneys, and when they come in, they'll come in and these people have the best intentions in the world, but they haven't made any plans with an attorney or an estate or a trust or anything like that to kind of shelter their kids from the money issues and the tax issues. And finding a good estate attorney, and there are a number of them here on the island, that's one of the best things.
First steps. So first step, maybe meet with a good estate attorney.
Then meet with me or back and forth, it doesn't matter.
And I know the last time, a few months ago, we were talking, and it resonated with a lot of people because some folks came to me about if someone passes in our state but has to go to another state, the logistics of that. I mean, a lot of people, it's a real head scratcher for folks.
It can be. Usually you should call the funeral home in your home state.
Okay.
Then they will call me, and I actually work for the funeral home in your home state. Now, I'm dealing with a family right now that did just the opposite. They called me first.
Yeah, see, I would have done that. Yeah. I would have been like, Jim, what do I do?
But that's okay because I don't charge them rack rate for something like that. I just pretend the funeral home up in whatever state called me first. And that's the thing about being a locally owned funeral home. I don't have to play by the rules that the big corporates play where they're all looking for money. Our business plan, we had a really busy year last year, and it was because our business model is different. We don't treat it as a business, we treat it as a service. We need money to pay the bills to keep the doors open, but half the people I meet are at their homes. And I deliver the ashes, I deliver the cremated remains. They don't ever have to come see me.
Yeah.
And it's just a different type of business plan for a funeral home.
Well, and one that's very successful too.
It's
very successful, and you're right, being more service-oriented makes all the difference, doesn't it?
It does.
Well, Jim, we're out of time.
Oh boy, it flies.
It does, but I'll see you next time.
Yep.
And thank you so much for coming in today. And you're watching the Senior Network, and we'll be right back.